time to relax and have some fun. Malcolm, Steve, and Mert.
Saying Steve McQueen's Husqvarna in On Any Sunday wasn't just a motorcycle in a documentary. It was the Hollywood superstar's personal bike that he'd been racing for years before cameras ever showed up. The film transformed dirt bike racing from a fringe hobby into mainstream American sport, and McQueen's involvement gave it credibility that no amount of marketing could buy. But why did the biggest movie star in the world risk his career racing motorcycles under fake names? How did a documentary cameraman nearly die filming McQueen's desert riding? And what happened to the bike that McQueen called his weekend escape from Hollywood? These are 20 weird facts about Steve McQueen's Husqvarna that will blow your mind. Number 20. The secret racing identity. Steve McQueen raced motorcycles under the alias Harvey Mushman to avoid studio executives discovering his dangerous hobby. His film contracts explicitly prohibited motorcycle racing, with insurance clauses threatening to cancel productions if he got injured. McQueen ignored these restrictions completely, entering desert races throughout Southern California under his fake name. The Mushman alias came from his mechanic's suggestion, combining a bland first name with an absurd last name nobody would remember. Race organizers knew exactly who Harvey Mushman was, but kept the secret, honored that Hollywood's biggest star wanted to compete alongside regular riders. McQueen wore full-face helmets and avoided photographers, maintaining the charade for years. The deception worked until On Any Sunday's release made his racing passion impossible to hide. His studio, Solar Productions, had ironically financed the very documentary that exposed his contract violations. Number 19. The 400 Cross purchase.
I just happened to get there when it was the 125 Pro practice.
McQueen bought his Husqvarna 400 Cross directly from Edison Dye's shop in Los Angeles, specifically choosing the Swedish bike over more popular Japanese models. Husqvarna wasn't well known in America during 1968. Most riders chose Honda, Yamaha, or Suzuki. But McQueen researched extensively, talking to European racers about which bikes won international competitions. Husqvarna dominated European motocross, and McQueen wanted the best regardless of brand recognition. Edison Dye imported Husqvarnas and ran a small shop catering to serious racers. When McQueen walked in asking about race bikes, Dye treated him like any other customer, explaining strengths and weaknesses honestly. McQueen appreciated the straightforward approach and bought a 400 Cross on the spot, paying $4,300, nearly triple what Japanese bikes cost. While that price included Dye's personal setup and tuning, making the bike race ready immediately. Number 18. The Bruce Brown connection. Director Bruce Brown approached McQueen about financing a motorcycle documentary after their chance meeting at a desert race. Brown had directed The Endless Summer, the surfing documentary that became a cultural phenomenon. He wanted to do for motorcycles what he'd done for surfing. Brown needed funding and credibility. McQueen wanted motorcycling to gain mainstream respect. The partnership made perfect sense. McQueen agreed to finance the film and appear as a subject, lending his star power to the project. His involvement guaranteed distribution that a pure documentary would never achieve. Brown's deal with McQueen was simple. The actor would put up $50,000 and appear on camera, but Brown retained complete creative control. McQueen couldn't dictate content or demand extra screen time. This arrangement kept the film authentic rather than becoming a vanity project showcasing McQueen exclusively. Number 17. The desert riding danger. Cameraman Don Shoemaker nearly died filming McQueen's high-speed desert sequences when his camera truck rolled during a chase shot. The production wanted dramatic footage of McQueen riding full throttle through open desert terrain. Shoemaker stood in a pickup truck bed, operating a handheld camera, while the driver matched McQueen's speed across rough ground. The truck hit a hidden wash at 45 miles per hour and became airborne. It landed sideways and rolled 3 times. Shoemaker was thrown clear, suffering a broken collarbone and severe lacerations. His camera was destroyed. McQueen witnessed the crash and immediately stopped, riding back to help. He stayed with Shoemaker until the ambulance arrived, guilt-ridden that his riding had caused the accident. Production shut down for 2 weeks while Shoemaker recovered and new camera equipment was sourced. Number 16. The Swedish engineering appeal. McQueen obsessed over Husqvarna's unique Swedish engineering, particularly the chromoly steel frame that was lighter and stronger than competitors' designs. He'd disassemble his bike regularly, studying how components were manufactured and assembled. The 400 Cross used techniques borrowed from European aerospace engineering. The frame tubing was drawn steel with varying wall thickness, thick at stress points and thin elsewhere to save weight. Japanese manufacturers use uniform wall thickness tubing, simpler to produce but heavier. McQueen appreciated these subtle engineering differences that most riders never noticed. He'd explain frame metallurgy to anyone who'd listen, showing the passion of an engineer rather than just a rider. His Husqvarna weighed 223 pounds dry, approximately 30 pounds lighter than equivalent Japanese bikes. That weight advantage translated directly to faster acceleration and easier handling in technical terrain. Number 15. The Malcolm Smith Friendship. McQueen's friendship with legendary racer Malcolm Smith began at a desert race and directly led to Smith's prominent role in On Any Sunday. Smith was already a champion off-road racer when McQueen started competing. They met when McQueen crashed during a race and Smith stopped to help him remount his bike. The gesture impressed McQueen, who was accustomed to Hollywood phoniness. Smith's genuine character and racing skill made them fast friends. McQueen insisted Bruce Brown feature Smith extensively in the documentary, knowing his riding ability and personality would captivate audiences. Smith's sequences, particularly the hilarious mini-bike footage and the breathtaking Mexican desert riding, became the film's most memorable moments. McQueen accepted less screen time himself to showcase Smith and other talented riders. This selflessness surprised the production crew who expected movie star ego. Number 14. The Bakersfield location choice. The Bakersfield area became the primary filming location because McQueen knew every trail and wash within 50 miles from years of weekend riding. He'd been escaping Los Angeles to ride Bakersfield's desert terrain since the early 1960s, developing intimate knowledge of the landscape. When Bruce Brown needed locations for desert sequences, McQueen served as location scout, leading the crew to visually spectacular areas with good camera access. The familiarity allowed McQueen to ride confidently at speed, knowing which sections were safe for aggressive riding and which hid dangerous obstacles. This local knowledge prevented accidents and captured better footage than scouting new locations would have produced. McQueen owned property near Bakersfield, specifically for motorcycle access, a small ranch where he stored bikes and equipment. The crew used this ranch as their base camp during desert filming sequences. Number 13. The studio panicked Warner Brothers. Executives panicked when they discovered their highest-paid actor was appearing in a documentary about motorcycle racing, activity his contract explicitly prohibited. McQueen had films in production with completion bonds guaranteeing he'd finish them uninjured. The insurance companies providing those bonds discovered On Any Sunday during routine monitoring of entertainment news. They immediately contacted Warner Brothers demanding explanations. Studio lawyers reviewed McQueen's contracts and confirmed he'd violated multiple clauses. The violation gave them grounds to cancel his current film and sue for damages. McQueen's response was characteristically defiant. He told them to sue if they wanted, but he wasn't stopping. The standoff lasted 3 weeks before Warner Brothers backed down. McQueen was too valuable, too profitable. Replacing him would cost more than accepting his motorcycle racing. They renegotiated his contract with higher insurance premiums and explicit permission for racing, finally legitimizing what he'd been doing secretly for years. Number 12. The Carburetor jetting obsession. McQueen personally rejetted his Husqvarna's carburetor for different elevations and temperatures, treating it like a science project rather than simple maintenance. The 400 Cross used a Bing carburetor, requiring precise jetting and to run optimally. Too lean and the engine overheated. Too rich and it fouled spark plugs. Desert elevation ranged from sea level to 5,000 feet. Temperature swings exceeded 40 degrees between morning and afternoon. These variables dramatically affected air density and fuel mixture requirements. McQueen kept detailed logs noting elevation, temperature, humidity, and which jets produced best performance. He'd change jets 3 times during a single day's riding as conditions shifted. His mechanics thought this obsessive, but McQueen insisted proper jetting gave him competitive advantage. He was probably right. His bike ran noticeably smoother than other Husqvarnas at races, attributed to his meticulous tuning attention. Number 11. The Pregnant Wife. Controversy. McQueen continued racing and filming despite his wife Nayla being pregnant with their second child, creating family tension that nearly derailed the documentary. Nayla had accepted his motorcycle hobby reluctantly, but racing while she was pregnant felt like abandonment. She argued he was risking making their children fatherless for a hobby. McQueen countered that racing made him who he was, that suppressing it would destroy him psychologically. The conflict escalated during filming when McQueen crashed hard, breaking 2 ribs. He hid the injury from the production, wrapping his chest tightly and continuing to ride. Nayla discovered the injury when she noticed him wincing and demanded he quit the film. McQueen refused. The marriage survived, but the resentment lingered. Years later, Nayla cited his motorcycle obsession as a contributing factor to their eventual divorce. On Any Sunday captured McQueen's joy and freedom on bikes, but the personal costs remained invisible behind his smile. Number 10. The Improper Riding Gear. Reality. McQueen's riding gear in On Any Sunday was laughably inadequate by modern safety standards, consisting of a thin jersey, basic pants, and minimal protective equipment that would horrify today's safety advocates. He wore Bell helmets, the best available in 1970, but they offered far less protection than current designs. His jersey was standard motocross issue from that era, providing zero impact protection or abrasion resistance. The pants were slightly reinforced denim, not proper riding pants with armor. His boots were leather motocross boots, decent for the period, but lacking the ankle protection modern boots provide. Most shocking by today's standards. No chest protector, no back protector, no knee guards. McQueen wore gloves at least, but thin leather ones that would disintegrate in a serious crash. This inadequate protection reflected the era's general attitude towards safety. Riders accepted injuries as inevitable rather than preventable. McQueen himself suffered countless crashes over his racing career, accumulating broken bones and scars he wore proudly. The documentary footage shows him falling multiple times, sliding across desert hardpan in gear that barely protected him. Modern viewers watching On Any Sunday cringe at the lack of safety equipment, but 1970 riders considered McQueen's gear perfectly adequate. The evolution in protective equipment over 50 years is staggering. What McQueen wore would be considered suicidal negligence today, yet it was standard practice then. The film inadvertently documents how far motorcycle safety equipment has progressed, showing a time when skill and toughness mattered more than protection. Number 9. The Mert Law Will Dynamic. McQueen's relationship with fellow On Any Sunday star. Mert Law Will was complicated by their vastly different motorcycle disciplines and personalities that created both tension and mutual respect. Law Will was a flat-track racer, competing on dirt ovals at terrifying speeds inches from competitors. McQueen preferred off-road desert racing, solitary battles against terrain rather than other riders. Flat track required precision and courage in tight packs. Desert racing demanded endurance and navigation. The two disciplines attracted different personalities. Law Will was methodical and mechanical, approaching racing like engineering. McQueen was instinctive and emotional, riding on feel rather than analysis. Bruce Brown intentionally featured both riders to show motorcycling's diversity, but their contrasting styles created friction during filming. Law Will thought McQueen was reckless and undisciplined. McQueen considered Law Will too cautious and technical. Their on-camera interactions show polite distance rather than genuine friendship. Despite differences, they respected each other's abilities. Law Will acknowledged McQueen's natural talent and commitment. McQueen admired Law Will's flat track skills, a discipline he'd tried and found terrifyingly difficult. The documentary benefits from their contrast, showing viewers multiple facets of motorcycle sport. Law Will's Grand National Championship racing provided professional credibility, while McQueen's star power brought mainstream attention. Together, they made On Any Sunday appeal to both hardcore racers and casual audiences. Their different approaches to motorcycling demonstrated that riding wasn't monolithic. Countless ways existed to enjoy two wheels. Number 8. The International 6 Days Trial footage. The film included footage from the International 6 Days Trial in Spain, where McQueen wanted to compete representing the United States but was denied due to his amateur status controversy. The ISDT was endurance racing's most prestigious event, essentially the Olympics of off-road motorcycling. Teams represented their countries in brutal 6-day competitions across punishing terrain. McQueen desperately wanted to ride for Team USA, believing his skills warranted selection. The American Motorcyclist Association disagreed. They questioned whether a Hollywood actor who raced occasionally could handle ISDT's intensity against world-class competitors who trained full-time. More problematically, they debated McQueen's amateur status. He'd accepted money for motorcycle-related activities, technically making him professional. The AMA feared he'd embarrass American racing if he couldn't finish or perform poorly. McQueen was furious, offering to prove himself in qualifying events. The AMA refused, and McQueen remained bitter about the rejection for years. Bruce Brown included ISDT footage in On Any Sunday, partly to show McQueen what he'd missed. The sequences depicting the trial's difficulty and drama became some of the film's most compelling moments. McQueen narrated these sections with barely concealed longing, his voice conveying how badly he wanted to test himself at that level. The ISDT footage also educated American audiences about international motorcycle sport, expanding the documentary's scope beyond domestic racing. McQueen's exclusion ironically gave the film better perspective than his participation would have provided. Number 7. The Husqvarna maintenance schedule. McQueen maintained his Husqvarna 400 Cross with obsessive precision, following a maintenance schedule that exceeded manufacturer recommendations and drove his mechanics crazy with its demanding frequency. Husqvarna recommended oil changes every 10 hours of operation. McQueen changed oil every 5 hours, believing more frequent changes prevented engine wear. He insisted on specific Castrol oil regardless of cost. The air filter required cleaning after every ride, no exceptions. McQueen would disassemble the foam element, wash it thoroughly, re-oil it precisely, and reinstall it before storing the bike. Chain maintenance happened after each ride too: cleaning, checking tension, lubricating. Spoke tension was verified weekly, with McQueen personally checking each spoke by sound, tapping them like tuning a musical instrument. Valve clearances were measured every 20 hours instead of the recommended 50. This excessive maintenance meant the bike was constantly being serviced rather than ridden. His mechanics argued they spent more time maintaining than repairing, that McQueen's schedule was wasteful overkill. McQueen didn't care. He believed meticulous maintenance prevented failures that could cost him races or worse, cause crashes. The obsessive schedule revealed his control freak personality, the same trait that made him a perfectionist actor. He couldn't control everything in Hollywood, but he could control every aspect of his motorcycle's maintenance. The Husqvarna became an outlet for his need to manage details personally, rather than delegating to others. Number 6. The helmet cam. Innovation. On Any Sunday pioneered motorcycle helmet camera techniques that revolutionized action sports filming, but nearly killed cameramen trying to develop the technology. Bruce Brown wanted point-of-view footage showing what riders actually experienced, something never successfully filmed before. Existing camera technology was too heavy and bulky to mount on helmets. Brown and his team fabricated custom lightweight camera housings from aluminum and mounted small 16mm cameras directly to helmets. The first attempts were disasters. The camera weight made helmets dangerously top-heavy, affecting rider balance and increasing injury risk during crashes. Early mounts broke loose during hard riding, sending cameras flying. The breakthrough came when they developed a shock-absorbing mount that isolated the camera from vibration while keeping it secure. This allowed filming at speed across rough terrain without destroying equipment or compromising safety. McQueen volunteered to test the helmet cam setup during desert riding, trusting Brown's engineering. The footage captured was revolutionary. Audiences saw exactly what McQueen saw, experiencing the speed and terrain intimately. Bumps, jumps, and near crashes felt immediate and terrifying. This perspective transformed how action sports were filmed forever. Modern GoPro cameras and action cams are direct descendants of Brown's innovation for On Any Sunday. The helmet cam sequences in the documentary still look impressive decades later, a testament to how groundbreaking they were in 1970. McQueen's willingness to be the test subject for experimental camera equipment demonstrated his commitment to making the documentary authentic and innovative. Number 5, the fake racing scenes. Controversy. Several race sequences in On Any Sunday were completely staged with McQueen and other riders performing for cameras rather than competing legitimately, a fact that disappointed purist viewers when they discovered the truth. Bruce Brown needed specific shots to tell his story effectively. Real races happened too fast, in locations with poor camera access, and didn't always provide the dramatic moments documentaries require. The solution was staging races specifically for filming, with riders following choreographed paths that maximized visual drama. McQueen participated willingly, understanding the difference between documentary truth and cinematic truth. Some sequences showing him battling other riders were completely fabricated, filmed on private property with predetermined outcomes. The famous beach riding scene was staged across multiple days, not a spontaneous moment of joy. Even the desert sequences involved careful planning about which routes to ride and when, ensuring perfect lighting and camera positions. Critics later accused Bruce Brown of dishonesty, arguing documentaries shouldn't stage events. Brown defended his choices, explaining that capturing the essence of motorcycle racing required some manipulation. Real races were too chaotic to film effectively with 1970 technology. The stage sequences conveyed authentic emotions and experiences even if the specific events weren't spontaneous. McQueen supported Brown's approach, noting that his acting career taught him that sometimes constructed reality communicates truth better than pure documentation. The controversy highlighted the blurry line between documentary and entertainment, a debate that continues in factual filmmaking today. Number 4, the bike's subsequent ownership journey. After filming concluded, McQueen kept riding his On Any Sunday Husqvarna for 2 more years before selling it to a collector, beginning the bike's bizarre ownership journey through multiple countries and owners. McQueen sold the bike in 1972 for $3,000 to a Southern California collector who recognized its film provenance. That owner kept it for 5 years before selling it to a Japanese collector for $18,000. The bike was shipped to Tokyo, where it sat in a climate-controlled collection alongside other celebrity motorcycles. In 1983, the Japanese collector sold it at auction to a German enthusiast for $32,000. The bike returned to Europe, where Husqvarna originated, displayed at motorcycle shows throughout Germany and Sweden. The German owner died in 1998, and his estate auctioned the entire collection. An anonymous American buyer paid $112,000 and brought McQueen's Husqvarna back to the United States. That buyer kept the bike private for years before consigning it to a Bonhams auction in 2011. The hammer fell at $214,000, purchased by a California museum dedicated to McQueen's life and career. The museum displayed it prominently until 2019, when financial difficulties forced them to sell. The current owner paid an undisclosed amount, rumored to exceed $400,000, and keeps the bike in a private collection, occasionally starting it but never riding it. The bike that McQueen bought for $4,000 and rode hard through deserts is now a museum piece worth nearly $500,000, appreciated more for its historical connection than its mechanical purpose. Number 3, the Oscar campaign that failed. Bruce Brown and McQueen personally funded an Oscar campaign for On Any Sunday's Best Documentary nomination, spending over $40,000 on promotion that ultimately failed to secure a win. The film was nominated for Best Documentary Feature at the 1972 Academy Awards, competing against established documentaries about serious social issues. On Any Sunday was the only sports documentary nominated, making it an underdog. McQueen believed the film deserved recognition and committed to campaigning aggressively. He attended Academy screenings, gave interviews promoting the documentary, and used his Hollywood connections to generate buzz. Brown matched McQueen's financial contribution, hiring of publicists, and placing advertisements in trade publications. The campaign emphasized the film's technical innovation, cultural impact, and universal themes about passion and freedom. They positioned it as more than a motorcycle movie, a meditation on why people pursue their obsessions despite risks and hardships. Academy voters didn't buy it. The documentary branch remained dominated by politically conscious voters who considered motorcycle racing frivolous entertainment, not serious subject matter worthy of Oscar recognition. On Any Sunday lost to the Hellstrom Chronicle, a documentary about insects. McQueen was devastated, believing Academy snobbery had dismissed something culturally significant because it wasn't sufficiently intellectual. Brown was more philosophical, noting that Oscar recognition wouldn't change the film's impact on audiences who loved it. The loss didn't diminish. On Any Sunday's legacy, it became the most influential motorcycle documentary ever made, inspiring generations regardless of Academy validation. Number 2. The dental injury cover-up. McQueen lost 3 teeth during a filming crash, but continued riding after emergency dental work, hiding the injury from studio executives who would have shut down his participation immediately. The crash happened during a high-speed desert sequence when McQueen hit a rock at full throttle. The impact sent him over the handlebars, face first into hard ground. His helmet prevented skull fracture, but his mouth hit first, shattering 3 lower teeth and splitting his lip badly. Blood poured from his mouth as crew members rushed to help. McQueen immediately downplayed the severity, insisting he was fine, despite obvious damage. They transported him to a nearby dentist who practiced in Bakersfield and was familiar with McQueen from previous racing injuries. The dentist performed emergency work, extracting broken tooth fragments and installing temporary crowns. The procedure took 3 hours and left McQueen's jaw swollen and painful. McQueen was back on his bike the next day, claiming dedication to the film. The real reason was fear that studio executives would discover the injury and force him off the production. His film contracts prohibited activities causing facial damage that could affect his appearance on screen. Missing teeth definitely qualified. McQueen kept the injury secret, avoiding smiling broadly in public until permanent dental work was completed. The temporary crowns lasted through filming and were replaced months later with permanent implants. Only his dentist, the film crew, and his wife knew about the injury. Studio executives never discovered the violation, and McQueen considered the lost teeth a worthwhile price for completing the documentary that meant so much to him personally. Number 1. The film's impact on Husqvarna. Sales. On Any Sunday's release triggered a 370% increase in Husqvarna motorcycle sales in the United States over 2 years, transforming the obscure Swedish brand into a major player in the American market. Before the film, Husqvarna sold approximately 800 motorcycles annually in America through a handful of specialty dealers. The brand was virtually unknown outside serious racing circles. After McQueen rode his 400 Cross across movie screens nationwide, demand exploded. Dealerships were overwhelmed with customers requesting the Steve McQueen bike by name. Husqvarna's American distributor scrambled to increase imports, going from 800 units in 1970 to 3,700 units in 1972. The company opened new dealerships across the country, tripling their retail presence in 18 months. Husqvarna's Swedish factory ran multiple shifts to meet unexpected American demand, hiring additional workers and expanding production capacity. The brand achieved something Japanese manufacturers had spent millions advertising to accomplish: American mainstream acceptance. McQueen's endorsement was worth more than any advertising campaign. Husqvarna never paid McQueen or the production for the exposure, making it the most effective free advertising in motorcycle history. The sales surge made Husqvarna a legitimate competitor in the American market throughout the 1970s. When the company eventually failed financially in the 1980s, industry analysts noted that without On Any Sunday's boost, Husqvarna would have remained a even temporary American success. McQueen's passion project inadvertently saved a company while transforming American motorcycle culture forever. Steve McQueen's Husqvarna 400 Cross wasn't just a motorcycle in a documentary. It was the vehicle through which Hollywood's biggest rebel showed the world his true passion, risking his career for authenticity and transforming motorcycle culture forever. From secret identities to lost teeth, the truth behind those Swedish-built wheels proves that sometimes the greatest performances happen off the movie set.